go time.
Ladies and gents,
Mm-hmm.
Florida Man football. We're back.
All right, why is your beard the cap off?
That's none of your business. Streaming on all major platforms. Do please like, share, and subscribe. And we're playing, I should say, at all of your favorite, like Spotify, Apple Music. What else is there, Johnny Cinco? Because we're everywhere, right? According to our producers.
Of course, yes. We're even even the ballet podcast, your favorite.
Okay,
so.
and let me get a message real quick before we get started to Mr. Portnoy, right? Did I say it right?
Of course.
Mr. Portnoy?
What do you want to say?
Mr. Portnoy, bienvenido al deporte del Florida Man. Podemos hacer esto en español si tú quieres, mi hermano. So, por si acaso, si estás escuchando, ya tú sabes, mi hermano.
Parlez-vous français? We do it all.
Okay, just looking for a job, bro. Let's go. Johnny Cinco, you want the good news or the bad news before we get started here?
I'll go with the bad news first.
Okay, the bad news. The bad news is, okay, are we good? Are you good?
Yeah.
Okay. The bad news is we promised the fans, I think you said like 14 wins. I was being humble. I said like 10.
Is that what happened?
And we ended up going 8-8. But the silver lining here, Johnny Cinco, the silver lining, if there is one, is that Florida Man Sports, knock on wood, has yet to give the fans an underscore all season. I think that's pretty darn good. But what are your thoughts on last week's games?
You have to understand, it's the same thing that we've talked about. We've always picked very well. And in this season, we haven't done bad at all.
Absolutely
just not to the level that, we're accustomed to. And why? Because we have to go and make our picks. Sometimes you look at a team, you look at the runs, but sometimes you have to add into the equation NFL shenanigans. All right. So is this going to be some funny business? Is the NFL and the Vegas, are they trending towards this particular team this week? So that's why the picks for everybody, not just us, have been off.
Now, not that it matters, but people like Lewis, because we do have a couple of people that watch all the time and have their little comments.
Degenerate gamblers, yes.
And so just to put it out there, the games that we did get wrong, just so people are aware, were either decided by 1 point or 7 or less points. And I think that's pretty...
Yeah, they're all one-score games.
That's pretty darn cool here at Florida Man Football. But let's get right into it, Johnny Cinco, the week that was. Let's rip the Band-Aid for me here. The Bucs lose 28-29. Essentially, we're depending on Sunday's game against the Panthers. What are your thoughts on the Bucs as it stands?
I mean, we talk about this really all season, not just with Tampa, with all the Florida teams and just teams in general, to where, okay, you beat a team you're supposed to beat, congratulations. But no, this season, I don't care who you're playing. Anything can happen this season. I've seen crazy Carolina beat the Rams.
Right.
Like crazy things have happened. So you have to go into games like this, not just because you're holding on for dear life. You're on a losing streak. Tampa lost 5 or 6 games. This is the divisional game. This is something that's coming up here. You can't afford to lose this team, and you did. And I mean, Tampa. Evans was back, and Evans, Chris, showed like, man, this guy. They missed this guy.
Absolutely.
Evans was there. He showed up. You think this old man's coming in here like, all right, what's he going to do? No. Evans is a difference maker on offense. It really is. The defense, they let me down. There was some plays that needed to happen. They didn't. They needed to make some stops. They didn't. And really, they made New Orleans look so much better than they really are.
So let me ask you a question here, because you know how much I bleed pewter here at Florida Man Football. Do you want me to give you the fan take, or do you want me to give you the sportscast take?
No, give me the sportscast take. Just don't give me excuses on injuries. I don't want to hear that anymore.
The sportscast take is this. You're stuck between a rock and a hard place. At the end of the day, Bowles isn't the answer at coach. He just got that contract back in June with him and Light. They both signed on for 3-year extensions. So I believe that Jason Light is going to end up retiring as GM after this. Now, that's my theory, just because of the way he talks when you hear him speak as a GM. And my final take on this is this. Any other coach, and I mentioned this last week, I think any coach like McVay would have been able to win with this team, with this cast. And so...
Wow, Chris.
And so my professional take is, I'm sorry, Bucs, but we chose wrong with the coach. We re-signed him, so we're going to be there till the wheels fall off.
Okay.
And to add insult to injury, we're going to end up signing Baker Mayfield to a max contract. So now you have a question mark at quarterback and a huge question mark at head coach for the next 3 years.
What I had said before the season, we talked about both contracts, to where you might as well go ahead and sign Baker now. You can save a few bucks instead of waiting. You're going to keep him regardless, unless he has some terrible season. No. Okay, check the tape. To go ahead and sign him now. And you agreed with me.
You're a terrible.
And what I said about Bowles was just wait. Like, he has to complete the season completely, wait. There's no point in going ahead and giving him an early extension. Just wait. And I can't blame Tampa or Jason Light, Chris, because, man, what, 6 weeks into the season, Baker Mayfield's the MVP, Todd Bowles, Coach of the Year. Everything was going right. You got to slow down. Slow down. And it's a lesson to where a lot of teams, they forget how long a season is. You got to grind it out and really see what you got. You know what kind of coach you got when things start going rough and he, gets everybody together and he finds that wills their team. These type of games, Chris, honestly, are won and lost by the coach. That type of game I saw with Atlanta,
That's what
it
I
was
said
like that.
about having a coach
It's
with McVay.
the
Absolutely.
coach is the
Absolutely.
difference in a game like that.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, that's why Atlanta won. Todd Bowles, you can't sit here after just signing and be like, oh, he's not the guy, he's not the guy. Like, calm down, because he was the NFL Coach of the Year, like 5 weeks ago. Now he's trash. Now, I have my issues with Todd Bowles. I understand that, but I'm not ready to throw him away. He still is. I mean, who's a better option other than Bill Belichick?
Well, since you want to twist my arm, that's basically what you're trying to say is that you want my take as a fan. I'll put it like this. Look, at the end of the day, and Jason Light, we trust. We're not going to back down. We're getting healthy at the right time. Yes, we lost to the Falcons, but you know what? We lost to the Falcons on purpose, and I'm going to tell you why. Because now,
Bro, come on, man.
with a win against the Falcons getting a win, Raheem Morris gets to keep his coaching job another year, which he's trash as a coach.
I don't think
so.
he
We
will.
did that on purpose, hypothetically speaking, and it's all going to work out. And at the end of the day, we've got 3 games left. We're number 1 in the division, thanks to Carolina taking an L. So we still choose our destiny. Go Bucs. We're just getting started.
I mean, honestly, Carolina lose and
You like how-
oh yeah,
sleep-
how
I'll
you
sleep
said
at night.
how you said 2 opposite things. He
I-
said one thing
That's how-
and then
that's how-
waited
that's how I'm
and
able to
said the
sleep at
complete
night.
opposite just a couple seconds later. Yeah, that was impressive. But yes, they are lucky that Carolina went ahead and lost. And now it's going to come down to they're playing Carolina twice,
Right.
Before the end of the season, Chris.
3 games.
But
Win and get in. It's very simple.
the thing is,
Win and
Chris,
get in.
here's the problem, Chris, with Tampa. And I know we're taking a lot of time with Tampa right now,
Mhm.
but I don't care. I can't remember the last time Tampa looked really good. I mean, they've lost 5 of 6, but even that win against the Arizona wasn't very good. It's been too long, and you're looking at a team like Carolina, and Carolina has had some good wins, have looked good recently, and I'm just wondering if Tampa peaked too early, and now it's just this decline, and they're not going to rebound out of it. I liked what Evans came back, and I like what I saw, the spark that he gave them, but it wasn't enough.
Sweet. I'm going to answer your question like this, Johnny Cinco. This is very simple for Tampa Bay. All joking aside now, right? This is very simple. And I think this will answer the question perfect. At the end of the day, to get into the playoffs, they got to beat the Panthers twice, right? So they got to win 3 in a row, or they got to win 2 out of 3, right? What a great way. What a great way to enter the playoffs than beating a playoff team. Yes, it's a playoff team. They beat the Rams like the Panthers. So to answer your question, that's the answer right there. Win. Winning fixes everything. Get hot at the right time. Get healthy at the right time.
Yes, Chris.
And I'm expecting to see that this coming weekend.
Of course, Chris. But
That's what's going to happen.
The problem is that now is the right time. Last week was the right time to start getting hot. Like
Told you Raheem Morris.
So hopefully all the bugs are kind of like have been scattered off, and the Buccaneers go on a
We're gonna find out shortly with your week picks coming up. Johnny Cinco, talking about great things and great games. Let's finally talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence here at Florida Man Football in the 48-20 beat down, because it was a beat down. And I will give credit when credit's due. I said Trevor Lawrence needed to have a great game. He said Trevor Lawrence needed to have a great game, and he finally did.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this game?
Now I had to, I guess, reevaluate, and I had to sit there and just really compose myself, because my initial thing, because I hate the Jets. So my initial take, I was like, yeah, finally, thank you, Trevor Lawrence. You finally had the game I've been asking for 2 years. Like, can you give me a 300-plus yard performance, 4 touchdowns? You gave me 6. So you had an unbelievable game. And, part of me wanted to be like, yeah, but it's against the Jets. But I can't do that. I can't do it.
Nor should you.
We've seen our Tampa Bay Bucks. We've seen plenty of NFL teams, just lose to teams you have no business losing to. So Jacksonville went ahead. They handled the Jersey Jets, that fake New York team. They handled them. And Trevor Lawrence finally shows me something that's like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And see, when I'm looking at something with Jacksonville, we dogged them and we were kind of like a little bit towards like, listen, you got to show me Jacksonville. You guys have
Yeah.
lost games you have no business losing. You won some good games. This was a game you should have won and you dominated. But now Jacksonville has some momentum. This is the type of thing I wanted to see from Tampa. They have momentum.
Yeah,
They feel
absolutely.
confident. They're going to the playoffs potentially. Right now, they're leading their division.
Right.
So I like everything I saw from Jacksonville. I have nothing negative to say. I just want you guys to keep it up, keep that momentum going
Absolutely.
into the playoffs. So worst case scenario, we have at least one Florida team going into the playoffs.
Well, we're gonna have at least two for sure. But at any rate, at the end of the
Is that the
day,
fan or is that the
it's
sportscaster?
the truth. It's the
Okay,
truth.
okay.
But look, at the end of the day, I want to make something very clear, especially people who watch 40 Man football consistently. Thank you. We appreciate that. We are an equal opportunity trash talker. In other words,
Yeah.
when the teams are down, we're going to tell you that they're down. It is what it is. And for the most part, one thing that we did say is Jacksonville has to capitalize. Remember, we said that last week. They have to capitalize on the fact of on what happened to the
Yeah,
Colts.
yeah. Daniel Jones is
Right.
gone, so like that was
And
the
and
team.
and they are. And then the other side of the coin, Johnny Cinco, I want to give a lot of credit and a lot of kudos at this point to Coach Cohen because the one thing about being a coach, right, especially when you're an offensive minded coach, is can your players buy into what you're selling? And to me, at this point, a 48-20 victory, even with the Jets, is a sign of a team that A is going in the right direction and B is bought into what the coach is selling.
Yes.
So for that, I give you, coach, all the kudos in the world and much success for the Jaguars, man. Finish strong and let's see if the Jaguars can go on a run, not just to get in the playoffs, Johnny, but to actually win a game in the playoffs his first year coaching.
Yeah, well done, Jacksonville. But I'm going to leave, of course, with the dig. What a waste! A bunch of draft picks on Travis Hunter. You didn't need to.
I wasn't gonna say it.
He wasted so
I
many
wasn't gonna
drafts.
say it
He
because I was
wasted so
critical.
much. Was he done? Nothing. Injured, of course.
I was critical of
You
the
didn't
draft.
have.
You made
You
fun
did
of me
all
for
these
being so
things here.
critical. Do you
I
remember
make
that?
fun of you.
You made
I make
fun
fun
to
of
be
you for a
critical.
lot of things.
I hated
Chris,
I hated the trade up. I
I
hated it. You
make
know
fun
that.
of you for a lot of things, but I didn't make fun of you for that. That was just something to where I didn't agree with you. It's like, hey, end of the day, I understand that's a move you make when you're a franchise trying to claw up. You got to go ahead and swing for the fences. You got to go ahead and look for the giant upside. Let's go ahead and make the moves. So I'm mad at it. So, and there's still plenty of, obviously, Travis Hunter can end up being something tremendous, but
The
injuries.
coach is winning in spite of it, and that's the bottom
Well, I
line.
mean, props to Tampa Bay that knows how to hire Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Both their coordinators have gone on to success in Jacksonville and Carolina. So they're like, so maybe Tampa should have held on to one of those two and got rid of Bowles. But hey,
That's the real argument, right? And you know what can shut all that up? The next 3 weeks. Speaking about shutting up, Johnny Cinco, it's time to put Miami Dolphins to
yeah,
bed. They're done,
cue the music.
officially eliminated. Last episode, I want to get your take on the game and overall for the Miami Dolphins. I would say bye to the Miami Dolphins from a playoff perspective. But again, Florida Man football always being honest about things. What we said, you don't know how to win, you don't know how to lose. You won some games that when that little hot streak that I feel like are going to hurt them. Remember with Flores, a conspiracy with the owner that was paying him to lose games,
Yeah.
and they still don't know how to lose games. At any rate, what are your thoughts on the game and any thoughts on the Dolphins not making the playoffs
Well,
again?
this was the game was going to tell us, okay, well, those wins, you want to know a little streak against the worst of the NFL. So now it's like Pittsburgh isn't elite. Pittsburgh's not a bad team, and you're playing in Pittsburgh. Now, something that we haven't seen from Tua or this Tua-led Dolphins team winning the cold. And so when we saw the temperature there, that's when you picked the Steelers to win. It's like, yeah, don't you have to prove to me you can win the cold. And my God, not only was Tua terrible, I don't know how. Listen, for me, I knew that with McDaniels that, okay, he's going to go ahead. He's going to last the season. You're going to keep him, even after. But that game was so bad. I honestly thought the owner was going to do the right thing and fire this guy. That team quit.
Mhm.
Just starting from the coaches to where you saw they were down. They were just complete garbage. Nobody can play in the cold. And in the fourth quarter, no hurry up offense ever. It didn't matter. It was 2 minutes left, and they were still just chilling. I mean, Troy Aikman, he called the game, and he was just like, "What is going on?"
Right.
Like they did not care. There was no urgency, no nothing. Just all right, let's take the L, and that's going into the fourth quarter, being down, and stupid moves, Chris. To start the game, they win the coin toss. Everybody knows you go ahead and you defer because you want the ball in the second half. They didn't. They did nothing on the first drive. Nothing. Pittsburgh scores on their last drive in the second quarter and on their first drive in the third, which is why you want to defer. You want to be able to do that. For you to make that move is one of the stupidest things I've ever seen, and the stupidity continued. There was so many bad calls. How was this coach not fired after the game?
Now that we know for sure they're out of the playoffs playing for draft picks, do you see the Dolphins taking more games, or do you
Why the hell would things that
watch them win next week?
they're not going to, Chris, because the owner already got caught.
Mhm.
So they're going to go ahead and do his thing. He's going to go ahead and he's interviewing right now for a coordinator position next year somewhere, or assistant coach somewhere. So he's not going to go ahead and lose. Now, he left the door open to where Tua might be benched, but it's not going to. I mean, you have Zach Wilson as the backup here. So is Zach Wilson going to come back and show some flashes and maybe get a job next year somewhere else? I don't know. But that was horrible.
To your point and what we want to see next, actually, I want to steer to the skid. I want to agree with you 100% because you know what? Yeah, maybe you don't want to tank. Yeah, you already got caught for it in the past, but you know what? To your point, put in Zach Wilson. You could even keep the idea that Tua is going to be your quarterback next year because of all the money
you
that
have
you owe
to.
him. You
You
have
have
to,
to.
right? But still, get some play out of Zach Wilson. You'll lose some games probably, right? And then if Zach Wilson does well, then get some draft collateral for him. So it's actually not a
Well,
bad idea, Johnny. That may be the route to go here, Miami, if you're listening.
I think they want to play Tua, Chris, because they want him to play well, because they need to trade him. And the thing is that
But they're not going to, Johnny. They're not.
he's like,
Nobody's
please,
trading.
please show
Nobody's
something.
going to trade for him. So that's why I think I think you had something good there.
Mhm.
Before we get to the picks again, Florida Man Football, we are streaming on all major platforms. Just to wrap up Week 15, Johnny Cinco, I'm going to highlight some stuff, and then I want to get your take on anything
Okay.
that was. You got the Bengals that went scoreless. It looks like Burrow is done there. He's checked out. That's the way it looks.
Yeah, thanks, Burrow.
You got the Raiders at 31-0. They couldn't score any points. The questions about maybe Pete Carroll still being the coach there, if he's lost it as a coach. And then overall, the injuries, Johnny Cinco, Parsons gets hurt, right? A lot of ACL injuries this last week. So any takes on anything that happened during Week 15?
I think the Raiders have played so bad, you really have to think that it's done. I love Pete Carroll, but no. It's not about like, okay, hey, you came in, it didn't work out for you. You weren't we both thought coming to the season, the Raiders, not that they're winning anything, but hey, they may be pretty good. There's some decent players, they maybe
you
they can
invest
fix
in
it
a
together
quarterback.
there.
You invest in a quarterback, you're expecting
Geno Smith can
yeah,
go and do something there.
absolutely.
Brock Bowers had an amazing year last year. It's like, okay, coming in, certain things are going to happen. They had Myers, they got ended up trading, but they had Myers, had some guys. I was like, okay, but no, Pete Carroll, you called it to where I was like, oh, this is a palate cleanser game. It's going to be a blowout. And in this day and age, you can't, you get shut out. And this is not the first time that they got destroyed in a game. It's ongoing. It's bad. And they have too much talent on this team to look this bad. So you honestly, seriously have to consider if this is the end for Pete Carroll.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll see. We'll see this. We'll see what the options are available, and then we'll see what the owner wants to do. Mahomes out. Nobody wants to see that. I'm happy to see the Chiefs out of the playoffs.
Is that true? Talking about the Chiefs and Mahomes, is that true or is that just a meme? Because nowadays with AI, you can't trust anything. Allegedly, this is the time that Tom Brady, very similar, got the same injury. But the thing I know that Tom Brady got injured. The thing about it is that similarities that it happened on a year that they didn't make the playoffs. It happened where he already won 3 Super Bowls.
Okay.
Is all that stuff true?
Let's
Because that's
let's
true.
understand
That's pretty dang ironic. That really
Let's understand.
case.
Well, let's understand something real quick. What happened with Tom Brady? That happened, I want to say, in week 1 or 2. So that happened in week 1 or 2 with Tom Brady. Matt Castle comes in and leads us to an 11-5 record. We won 11-5. 11-5. Let's see, 16-game season back then. It's going to get you in the playoffs 99% of the time. That just happened to be, of course, the year that the Dolphins, the last time they won the AFC East, win that division. So they're in. We tied with them, but because they beat us in the regular season matchup, we didn't have. And then the wild card teams were really good, so we didn't even make the playoffs that year but 11-5. It's not conspiracies.
Didn't that give Matt? Who's the backup? You said
that was Matt Castle. Yeah,
didn't that give Matt Castle like a job with Kansas City?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They got him a good. Hey, good. Hey, good,
I remember that.
Good on you. He got his money. He didn't do anything with it, but hey, it is what it is. But I don't want to see some guy get injured like that, especially
Yeah,
Mahomes.
absolutely.
I'm good riddance of Kansas City. It took away some of that thrill I had from seeing Kansas City being eliminated from playoff contention, seeing
Right.
him
Yeah,
get
I agree.
injured.
I agree.
Parsons, that's a big hit, Chris. I mean, they got this guy, spent all this money, traded a bunch of guys, draft capital to go ahead and really be a Super Bowl contender. Now I can't take them seriously. I was already annoyed with them, but I can't take them seriously without Parsons. They will get to the playoffs more than likely, Chris. I don't see them making a deep run without a healthy Micah Parsons.
There is a path to the playoffs. You're right. There's a path, but it's going to be a very tight one. I know we'll talk about that when we go into the
Mhm.
picks. And you know what? The Cowboys may miss the playoffs. We always got to talk about the Cowboys.
They
When we
they
talk about
they they
Parsons.
are missing the
They may,
playoffs.
they
It's
may, they may not. They may not
no.
miss the playoffs.
You
At
you
any
you
rate,
you called you
at
called
any
off you
rate,
called off Miami
Jerry
Dolphins
Jones.
last week, and
Yeah,
the
but I'm
Dolphins
not ready to call it
and the
back yet.
Cowboys have less of a chance than the Dolphins
No,
did.
no, there's a path. But at any rate,
No,
so
they're done.
it's not about being happy. I want to make sure I choose the right words here, but Jerry Jones was right. And what I mean by that is if you listen to some of the interviews prior to paying him,
Come on,
he
dude.
gave it no, listen to me. His words, not mine, were listen, we've offered him money, we've offered him guaranteed money, but I've already paid because they were questioning whether he would open up his checkbook. And he goes, I have paid, and he named the players, and then they get hurt. I've paid him and then they get hurt. He literally said that. And then I hate, nobody wishes anything, but his logic isn't wrong. Parsons is a bruiser. The guy's a bruiser. And you know what? His play, if you saw how he got hurt, he was just going 110 miles an hour. So hey, I silver lining for Jerry Jones. That's all I'm saying.
No, like
That's all
the
I'm
only
saying.
reason, the only
Deep
re-
down, the fans know what I'm talking about. Like it's a silver lining here.
the only reason that Micah Parsons didn't get paid with the Cowboys is that it just worked out for him. The Cowboys, they paid Dak Prescott the most of anyone. Then they paid CeeDee Lamb.
That's who he brought up. That he got hurt. He paid Matt's money. He got hurt.
That's what it comes down to. Is they ended up being in a situation they had a quarterback. They did a terrible contract before, and they were forced to give this guy him. He couldn't do any type of arbitration. Couldn't do anything with this guy. So they're stuck with it. And then CeeDee Lamb got his contract. So he was stuck. It's just bad management by Jerry Jones. Do not give this guy credit like he did something. No, it was bad management.
I'm just
and he
calling a
couldn't pay
spade.
it.
I'm calling a spade a spade. That's all
No,
I'm doing.
it's just, he got lucky. A blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while. And for damn sure, Jerry Jones is a blind squirrel.
Speaking of squirrels and finding nuts here at Florida Man Football, Johnny Cinco, I'm hoping that
Okay.
that you get us back because again, we've always given you at least 500, but now we got to get back to double digits for the fans. We're talking about Week 16 here. Some crazy games. If you've already seen the doc, Johnny Cinco, you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do
It's
this.
a tough week.
Yeah,
A
it
tough
is. It is.
week
It is.
to make
Really
calls.
is.
But rely on me. I got this, guys. Let's go.
Yep. And don't worry, I coached him before the show started.
That's what it is.
Johnny Cinco,
Okay.
let's talk about the Rams and the Seahawks Thursday night football. I mean,
This is the best Thursday night
you're talking
football
about
game of
you're
the
talking
season.
about creme de la creme, right? Both teams are 11-3. Thursday night football has been notorious for being slow start type of games, but you've got two teams that have great defenses, so you're going to maybe expect a low scoring game. I don't know who's winning this one. Oh, and the Seahawks are the home team.
Yeah, so looking at this particular game, this arguably is the two best teams in football right now going at it. Who's going to win this? In a situation like this, guys, you automatically, for the most part, look at this. Home team's going to win this. You look at home team's difficult there. But Sam Darnold have had some tough games against like great talent. When he comes up, can he rise to the occasion? And sometimes you scratch your head and you think maybe he can't. This game, he will. Seattle Seahawks are going to win this game against the LA Rams.
Moneyline says Rams -1.5. First upset right out the gate,
Yep.
shooting from the hip. Seahawks win at home. Let's talk Eagles and Commanders, Johnny Cinco. This one is a little bit easier in that A, we know that the Eagles already got that palate cleanse, but B, it was just announced the Commanders that Daniels is done for the rest of the year. It's Mariota as long as he's healthy. They are at home. Who's winning this game?
People always want to sit here and hate on Mariota, hate in the situation. He's had a good game, had a bad game, but the Commanders are going to lose. Eagles are going to win this game. It's just not something you have to overthink.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. Lock it in. Packers and Bears.
Good game. Good game.
Another great game here. Florida Man Football, Johnny Single. Now, this game is going to be on Fox. I think it's a Friday game, if I'm not mistaken. But
yeah.
Okay, it's a Friday game. Packers and Bears. Bears are at home. This is where that tie that everybody talks about, it may nip them in the butt, may not. The money line says Green Bay -1.5, Johnny. Who is taking this one?
Looking at this game, 100% Micah Parsons being injured is going to be a key factor. They're playing in Chicago. Chicago's 5-1 at home. They're rolling. This team very much reminds me a lot of the Jacksonville Jaguars, to where, no, they got some momentum. They're winning games. They're winning the games people don't expect them to win, and they're flying. Their coach has them believing. They're doing some things, and LaFleur is a bit of a pansy, and he's doing some things I don't like. So, no, sorry. The Chicago Bears are going to go ahead and win this game.
Bears winning at home, keeping that great record going. Johnny Cinco, we move to the Sunday buffet here. You got the Bills and the Browns. I'm not going to say much. Browns are the home team. Who's winning this one?
Yeah, the Bills are going to win this game here. The Browns have a solid defense. The thing is that, like, you're looking at something like this, I get it why you said that. Browns, outstanding defense, and we've seen the Bills just collapse against good defenses, but I cannot believe that coming off of that, incredible win against New England, that they're going to go ahead and then drop this game against the Browns. Bills are going to win.
And something that we said here, 40-Man Football last week, that the Browns are playing for draft picks, and it looks that way. So, good game. Bills win. Chargers, Cowboys, Johnny Cinco. This is where the Cowboys make that run that I was telling everybody about, but I'm not gonna try to twist your arm here. Chargers are 10-4, finally playing the football that we expect them to play. Cowboys are the home team, man. Who's winning this game?
The Chargers have been playing well. The defense is playing well. The Chargers are always kind of funny because we've said it. They've been on the cusp of being like, we're done with you, or you're an elite team. They're right there. They're always staying there. They're in purgatory, So the Cowboys, Cris has been hoping against hope that somehow the Cowboys find a way. And listen, the Cowboys have had their opportunities, Cris.
Come on.
They've had their opportunities to go ahead and win and win and win.
Come on.
When they had their opportunities to win, they find a way to lose. This is going to be another one. The Chargers are beating the Cowboys. Cowboys, which I think before this game even begins, since there's games, I believe, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, before this game even begins, they're going to be eliminated from playoff contention. But this loss will just go and put that stamp.
Well, the picks are always unanimous here at 40-Man Football, so I'm going to go with Johnny Cinco's pick here.
Exactly.
But I do want to correct
him. All right,
him.
8-8.
I do want to correct him that when he picked the Bears to win, statistically speaking, that means the Cowboys would still be in it when this game kicks off.
Okay.
Just saying.
Okay.
Just saying.
They're not the only team.
No, but they are. But the Packers have that tiebreaker. Remember, I told you so.
Yeah, I get it.
So they'll still be in it.
So
mathematically.
Regardless, I did pick the Bears. Regardless if the Packers somehow went ahead and they find a way to win here, this loss will just go ahead and solidify it, regardless of what happens in that particular game. But the Cowboys are done.
He picks the Chargers.
Listen, Cris, I get it. The Cowboys' offense looks good. Did you watch the same? Every game I watch, they will do a drive, Cris. That's like, this team actually looks pretty damn good.
Absolutely.
And then as the game progresses, you realize why they're in the position they're in right now.
Yeah, so, absolutely. What was going to be a one-sided game now becomes the
I already know.
toilet bowl number one for me here.
I know. It's like,
you've got the Chiefs and the Titans. Both teams are obviously out of the playoffs, as we know. The money line does say Kansas City minus 3.5.
Yeah, ignore that. Ignore it because nobody knows. Because that money line's out the window. You got Minshew, former Jacksonville Jaguar draft pick, just looked terrible. That guy, he's made some good passes and got the team into field goal range. He didn't just don't do anything stupid. Just don't do anything stupid. You're going to go kick the field goal, go to overtime. And he does the stupidest pass I've ever seen. They lose the game instantly. And the Chiefs are out of the playoffs. And then now they're going against the Titans, one of the worst teams in football, Cris. Cam Ward, who's, keeping it a buck.
You always say it.
Yeah, I might repeat it. It's keeping it a buck. I already said one bad word. Okay? I'm not going to continue it. But keeping it a buck, they are. But so are the Kansas City Chiefs without Mahomes. They weren't that great with Mahomes. Now you're going to go ahead and say Minshew? Is Minshew the guy? They're playing in Tennessee.
Forgot about Minshew.
They're playing in Tennessee against this team here. What's going to happen? I think that they're deflated. They don't. I think the Chiefs, now that they're officially out and their leader out, I honestly don't see them coming in with any motivation. The Titans are actually going to win this game.
Wow. Upset alert. Forget about the minus 3.5 like Johnny Cinco said. Titans win at home 3-12 for the season. Johnny, let's talk about the Bengals and the Dolphins here. We talked a little bit about how the Bengals are kind of checked out. Now the Dolphins are eliminated. I want to get your, obviously, the take here on who wins. The money line says Cincinnati minus 2.5. But here's a theory, calling it right now, week 15. Maybe because Burrow's done with Cincinnati, and, maybe the Dolphins want to get a new GM who wants to give them 5 first-round picks and Tua. Maybe you get a switch here this summer. I mean, seriously, I'm not even joking. Like, man, maybe not 5, but
no, that's something that
the money would make sense. But maybe Burrow, not to get too ahead, but maybe Burrow in Miami would be pretty darn exciting.
I mean, this is the one, because you had mentioned, and I was waiting for this particular game to bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
You had mentioned like, oh, it's not happening. It's not happening with Tua. They're stuck. I'm like, no, this is the only scenario I see. The only possibility of getting rid of Tua. It's where it's a swap. Now, Miami has to give us some draft picks on top of it, but there's a swap between Burrow and Tua, and give us some draft picks, and that can happen here. But in this particular game here, you mentioned that, listen, I get the comments. Burrow had already said, oh, it wasn't about Cincinnati. It was. But the Cincinnati Bengals have already said that he's going to start the rest of the season no matter what. He's the guy there. Miami has given up. I saw what I needed to see from Miami. They've given up. Now, at least they're playing in Miami because they know, my God, if this was in Cincinnati, it would be an automatic stamp of approval, 100% Cincinnati's winning. But even in Miami, I have Cincinnati winning this particular game. The Dolphins, they showed me everything they needed to show. This is going to be an offensive game. No defense in this game. At the end of the day, I see Burrow winning out because he's just a better quarterback.
Bengals win on the road. Let's go to the Stink Bowl 2.0. Johnny Cinco, the Jets and the Saints. Saints, of course, are the home team. Give the Saints credit again for beating the Panthers. Money line says New Orleans minus 4.5. Who's winning this one?
The Saints are going to win. The Saints have won 2 straight divisional games, tough games. The Jets are hot garbage. And so I'm like, why? They're playing in New Orleans. I mean, there's nothing that tells me the Jets should win this game. The Saints are going to win.
Vikings and Giants. Johnny Cinco, Giants being the home team, where I feel like every time I say something nice about the Giants, they end up losing. I don't know. It's like it happened to me already back-to-back weeks. Who's winning this game?
The Giants and Jets never have a home game. They play in Jersey and represent New York. You're frauds. You're frauds. The Vikings are winning this game.
You wonder why we don't have many, fans from New York.
Yeah, whatever, man.
Good Lord.
You should, because you shouldn't be rooting for the Giants or the Jets. You should be rooting for the Buffalo Bills, the only New York team in the NFL. They're the only team.
He doesn't mean that, Sandy. He doesn't mean that. Don't listen to him.
Ridiculous.
Buccaneers, Panthers, Johnny Cinco. This is Game of the Week. Florida Man Football, streaming on all major platforms. This is where it goes down. Panthers, of course, being the home team, ripping the Band-Aid. Moneyline says -3. Bucs win. Moneyline says -3. Bucs win at 7-7. Win or go home. Who's winning this game? I want to remind you that I have sharp objects around me.
Listen,
I want to remind you.
Like I said earlier, that's why I had to take my time on this. Because I know how Chris is. I haven't seen the Bucs kind of an impressive win from them in quite a while. And remember the type of season they had early on. They won, 3 straight games from the season on. Baker Mayfield needed to do game-winning drives. Baker Mayfield, his talent and his will, led this team to victories. And injuries have happened. They piled up. We got some of those players back here. But my God, do they need to win this game. And much like we did, the Jacksonville Jaguars, to like, you need to prove it. Prove it to me that you can do something, because you're talking a lot, prove it. And Jacksonville has proved it, and they went ahead, top of their division. The Buccaneers need to prove something to me. Even in losses, Carolina looks better. They've looked better over the last few weeks here. They're playing in Carolina. I'm sorry. Carolina Panthers are winning this game against Tampa. Tampa has been in a free fall. Please prove me wrong. Go ahead, make the adjustment. Go ahead and ensure that. But I think it's going to come down to really that final game and what's going to happen. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they did this to themselves and really put them in a position to where they may miss the playoffs. It's your own fault. It's your own fault. It's a bit of a mess here. But I'm sorry. I know Cris is about to have an aneurysm, but the Carolina Panthers are going to win this game at home.
We're done. Cut the tape. We're done. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out of here. I need a moment. Florida man football. Need a moment. Need a moment. So let's talk about the other Florida team. Make me happy again.
Okay.
I hate you so much. Jaguars and Broncos. Johnny Cinco. Broncos are the home team. And for what it's worth, the money line is very close because of the way the Jaguars are playing football.
Yes.
I hate you, Johnny. Broncos are at home. I hate you. Who's winning this game?
I mean,
I'm gonna say
both teams are playing very well. I mean, they're on a run here, but Jacksonville is coming into, they're facing a juggernaut. So they're coming in there at home, coming against Denver. Bo Nix is playing lights out. This defense is playing well. They're playing in the cold in Colorado. How can you pick against the Broncos in that scenario? So I have, unfortunately, every Florida team losing this particular week. Doesn't mean anything, doesn't mean they're done here, but it's hard to pick against the Broncos how well they're playing right now at home. This game was in Jacksonville. We'll have a different conversation, but they're not. Denver's winning.
And these ratings in Florida man football are going to be amazing.
So we're supposed to just pick
amazing
every week. They're undefeated. Every week they win. No, it is what it is.
We're keeping it a buck. Battle of the Birds, Johnny Cinco, Falcons and Cardinals. You know the Falcons, what they did last week. Who cares? Cardinals, of course, with the backup QB action. Atlanta -2.5. Who's winning this one?
So many good games and so many terrible games. It's like great game, horrible game, horrible game.
There's no in between. No.
Yeah, this is a horrible game here. They're playing in Arizona, but the Cardinals are one of the worst, and so are the Falcons. But I believe more in Kirk Cousins and what he's been able to do. Kirk Cousins has his moments. The weather's going to be good. I have the Falcons win this game against Cardinals.
Absolutely. Talking about good games now, Johnny Cinco, the Steelers and the Lions, both teams at 8-6. One won last week. The other one, of course, lost. A close game.
Yeah.
Close until the fourth quarter anyway. Lions are at home. The implications in this game from a playoff perspective are ridiculous. Who's winning this game?
Well, the Lions haven't won back-to-back games since week 4. I think they just keep winning and losing, winning and losing, winning and losing. They lost. Now it's going to go ahead. They're playing in Detroit. It just makes sense. They're a good team. So are the Steelers. But because of that trend, how it's happening with Detroit, it's hard to pick against that. Since they lost last week, they're going to go ahead and win this particular week, especially being at home. The Lions win this game.
It's nice to know the science that you put behind things in order to create your picks. It's very, I like that.
That's the science.
Let's talk about the Raiders and the Texans here. Texans, of course, we know they are 9-5. They are at home, and we already know about the goose egg the Raiders laid. Money line says Houston -14.5. Any upset?
That is an insane money line.
Any upset?
This is how bad. This is a money line that you see in college where, like, they play a Division II team or something, some kind of crazy when they play their warm-up games. When Miami plays FIU or something insane to where it's kind of like, all right, so no, the Texans are winning this game. The Texans win.
One of the lock-ins of the week here.
This is a lock-in. Bet your house. I'm not saying the 14 points because who knows how the NFL works, but if it's a straight win or lose, Texans win all day.
Let's go. Talking about the Division II teams, Johnny Cinco, the Patriots.
Great.
The Patriots Division II team here. Now, after they lost to the Bills, going on the road to take on the Ravens at 7-7 with all the playoff implications there. The money line actually says Baltimore -3 because the degenerate gamblers know who the better team is. Who is winning this game?
I mean, this is a tough game. It's going to be a tough game no matter what happened. I think if they went ahead and should have won that game against the Bills last week, then they could take their foot off the pedal a little bit and still play. I'll give the edge. Losing a game like that, a Mike Vrabel coach team isn't about to go ahead and go into a tough game like this and lose. So while the Ravens, they can't afford to lose this game. They're clawing. But no, the Patriots are not going to lose 2 games in a row. They went ahead in a 10-game win streak. This just happened here against Buffalo. It was a crazy game if you guys all saw it there, of course. You brought up, Portnoy, and Portnoy was already claiming victory, something you never do. I blame you. Barstool Sports in Portnoy. I blame you for going ahead and just claiming victory. You can't claim victory. Come on, guys. You know, us Patriot fans, you know, you've seen enough football. I've seen plenty of football to know, especially Super Bowls and certain things. So I'm like, no. You don't claim victory. You let it play out, see what happens there. But in this particular case, Patriots win.
Patriots win. Wowzaronis. He rips the Band-Aid. Damas y caballeros, acabando en los deportes de esta semana, tenemos los 49.
Los 49. It sounds so interesting.
Jugando contra los Indianapolis Colts. No, porque Portnoy está escuchando, so tengo que dejarle saber que estamos aquí, porque tú sabes.
Pero los Colts.
Los Colts. Los Colts.
I'm trying to think like baby horse. Like how do you say baby horse?
Oh my God. 49ers and Colts wrap up Monday Night Football, Johnny Cinco. You've got 8-6 Colts, 10-4, playing probably one of like the full tilt games of the week, really, especially for the implications when it comes to the playoffs for the Colts. San Francisco -6 is the money line. ¿Quién va a ganar?
I mean, respect to Philip Rivers, who came in, and they should have won that game. He did his job, but they lost it at the end there in a field goal. But it's not happening. Not against the 49ers. Listen, this Colts team is good. They're going to run the ball a lot. They're playing at home. They're going to run that there. This defense knows, okay, block the run, stop the run, force Philip Rivers to go ahead and beat you. Philip Rivers had, 120, 130 yards passing. A guy who was on the couch for 5 years comes back, still throws for a touchdown. Looks not horrible, but...
Reminds me of me.
But Daniel Jones-led team like this would beat the 49ers. A Philip Rivers-led team, no disrespect to him, is not beating the 49ers in this particular game. San Francisco is going to win this game.
49ers win on the road and wrap up another great week here of football, great week 16 40-man football here. And Johnny Cinco, just a question since we're talking about the Colts.
Okay.
And we're talking about Daniel Jones and that injury. Does he get paid?
Yeah.
Well, Daniel Jones gets paid?
Yeah, it's remember, like his contract is guaranteed. Like he didn't sign an extension. I want a 1 or 2 year deal.
He signed a 1 year. That's what I'm saying.
So that
to get the big contract.
That contract is guaranteed. There were incentives, a couple incentives there if you reach certain benchmarks, but I want to say 90% plus it's guaranteed. There's a couple of little things, 100,000 here, 100,000 here, 500,000 here, but yeah, he's getting paid.
Okay. And before we wrap this one up, Johnny Cinco, of course, as we are running a little longer than usual 40-man football, but it was an exciting week of football, an exciting week coming up. You did pick all the Florida teams to go 0-3.
Were you asking me if he's getting paid because he's injured, or is he going to get paid in the offseason?
I was asking you if he was going to get paid in the offseason.
Okay,
I let it go because
I
didn't understand what I was saying.
No, you're saying, is he getting paid?
Because of the injuries, he's getting paid, yeah.
Contract. No, well, here's the thing. He's not going to get stupid money. It's almost... I don't know if it's a blessing or not. If this dude had went ahead and led this team to the AFC Championship or to the Super Bowl, he's getting a max contract. Now that this happened here, it's like, okay, we'll give you a contract, but it's going to be a super friendly. At the end of the day, where are you going to go, Daniel Jones? I mean, you know this offense. You did well. You're going to get paid $30 million a year to do this here and do your thing there.
I was going to say 30 to 35, which is
very team friendly, very team friendly.
Good contract.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so it's very similar to where Baker Mayfield got. Baker Mayfield got 3 years, $33 million a year, somewhere around that ballpark. So I see Daniel Jones getting something similar, 3 years, $35 million a year.
I went back and answered the question there.
Well, you could have corrected. I was like, started thinking what do you mean is he getting paid? It's a guaranteed contract. No, you could have been like, that's not what I mean.
As we wrap up Florida football here, I do have one last thing to put a bow on this one. So you call the Florida teams going 0-3.
Everybody's losing. Okay. Everybody in Florida's losing this week.
Okay, well, let's talk about two losers for a minute. That would be me for the first time missing the playoffs in fantasy football. Johnny missing the second playoff in 3 years.
What are you talking about?
And so
I've made the play. This is the first time I missed the playoff.
I don't know. I have to check screenshots. But at any rate,
anyway,
Dumb and Dumber here are playing each other this week in the consolation.
Oh,
I didn't even. So you said all the Florida teams are losing. Johnny Cinco. Are you gonna make that? Are you gonna make that 4? Are you gonna lose this week?
I gotta look that. I got the waiver wire real quick. I don't. Once you're out, it's like, all right, what's happening? Okay,
So are you gonna lose this week?
No, I'm not losing this week. Listen, one thing's for sure. I'm going to leave this season on top with a victory. So I'm not worried about it too much there. But I'm not starting. The Burrow just what did he give me? 5 points last week? No, I'm not doing that again here. So I got to make some changes.
Well, let's see what happens this week. Let's wrap this up.
Well, of course, you know where we're listed on anywhere you guys listen to podcasts. Of course, on YouTube, on X as well. I think for the most part, Chris, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go undefeated this year, but this week, excuse me. But so we'll see how it works out there. I know that you say that every time you make your picks, you say that you went 8-8. I can
You
firmly,
could have seen 16-0 though,
I
right?
can, I can, s- I can
You could
see
have seen 16 and
I
0.
can see this is the first time I actually have a week where I don't have bye weeks every single time, which is the easier path that you have to when you have 16 games or something. I've always had 14-game weeks. Now I have a 16-game week. I'm gonna call 12 victories this week, Chris. 12 victories, 12-4 minimum this week.
I'll
Guys,
trust you that.
enjoy it. If you bet money, Chris will pay you back if you lose. All right.
Nope. Nope.
We appreciate you guys. Continue
Negative.
to listen and follow. We out.
Bye. Hell no, I'm not paying nobody back.